I started searching right around the time I came out. Searching for community or a sense of belonging. As queer people, we're told that there is a community out there for us to find. But for many of us, it's not so simple. Age, race, class, gender, ability, and countless other factors impact whether we can access communities where we'll find other people who share in our experiences. As a queer woman looking for community, what I was finding is that a lot of the spaces everyone was telling me to go to were already closed, or they were on the verge of closing.
June is officially Pride Month, and HuffPost Live is doing a series of segments celebrating the queer community. And we all know who the L in LGBTQ stands for. Lesbians, of course, but perhaps not for long. From the closing of San Francisco's only lesbian bar this past April, to the rise of women who love women shunning the L word for less restrictive labels, or no labels at all, there appears to be a cultural shift in the community, at least from an outsider's perspective.
Portland's iconic feminist bookstore, In Other Words, has announced it is closing at the end of the month. OPB's April Baer joins me now with more.
The emphasis in recent years has been less on the bookstore and more on the community space. People like to make jokes about, In Other Words, appearances on Portlandia, but it really has been a classic part of the city's radical history. They've been in operation for 25 years.
So I have things like this, which is a letter written from the owners of Bonnie and Clyde's, which was a dyke bar or discotheque that served primarily women of color for a long time, and they're basically explaining to their patrons why they're closing. And I have that next to this one that was a Facebook post from Lila, who owned the Lexington bar in San Francisco for, I believe, 18 years. And so she's basically apologizing to her clientele and talking about why she closed.
We have this way of telling our history through space. We think about who we are and how we work through space. Precisely because we were to be invisible, we shouldn't be anywhere. So the claim to space is incredibly important to us, and that's not going away.
We have to build our own infrastructure. We have to be that network. We have to step up and take care of each other.
Lots of different stuff happens here. People eat here, people fight here, people create here, envision and dream. Sometimes people sleep here, people make love here. I mean, that feels important.
There's a fragility about lesbian space, about feminist space. We're all, whether we know it or not, we're all in mourning because those spaces have declined.
You're listening to Think Out Loud on OPB. I'm Dave Miller. In 2010, a Portland bar called the Egyptian Room closed its doors, and the city's only bar that catered specifically to lesbians was shuttered for good. Portland is not alone. Lesbian bars and bookstores and spaces of all kinds are closing around the country, from Hollywood to Houston to Philadelphia. This is a story that Alexis Clements is working on right now. In a few weeks, the playwright and filmmaker will be traveling the country for a documentary about disappearing lesbian spaces. We'd love to hear from you as well. Do you think that the need for lesbian-focused spaces has passed?
When I came out just before I turned 30 in 2009, things were changing a lot. Spaces were closing, but also the ways people were identifying and ideas about who was included in different spaces were becoming particularly fraught. I really wanted to get a better sense of what a variety of different spaces looked like. And because I love history and politics, I really wanted to visit spaces with multiple generations and strong political viewpoints. I also wanted to get away from the coasts, at least a little bit, because so much of the conversation about queer culture is focused there.
Obviously, you're from Oklahoma.
Obviously, yes.
Are you here by yourself or with a group of people?
No, I'm here by myself.
I've been in New York about a year, and find no reason to go back to it, but I want still the women of Oklahoma, I want them to know that, you know, we're still rooting for our sisters in the Midwest.
Next year, bring 1,000 of them with you.
I'll try.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you.